Hi there. This is Dr. Carol Roberts, offering a little short video that I hope you enjoy. One of the most popular subjects on the website has been functional medicine. And since I've been working that end of the medical spectrum for 30 years, I like to teach and I like to share what I've learned, particularly with people who don't know much about their bodies, which is so many of us. Sadly, that part is really left out of the curriculum, the way your body is put together, the things that it needs to be healthy. Are kind of forgotten in the rush to make you memorize ancient wars and current whatever geopolitical nonsense. But such a valuable piece of information as knowing what your body needs is far from what the mainstream education is about. So here I am, and I'm hoping that I'm going to get questions from my listening audience, my internet fans, to let me know what topics you would particularly enjoy to have. I will be teaching an upcoming course, an 8-week course called An Apple a Day on this very website, beginning in September. I don't remember the exact date. It's Thursday nights from 6 to 7, maybe. Anyway, there, look elsewhere on this website to find out the exact time. Next time I'll let you know. So the principles of holistic slash integrative slash natural slash functional medicine are very different than what I was taught in medical school. So, and things have gotten worse since, and the painting above my left shoulder, to you it's the right, but to me it's the left, tells the story of what's happening to the art of medicine today. She is much under attack from pharmaceutical domination of medical education. That's the vulture. The snake is the standard of care, which requires that you don't think. You do algorithms in your head, which are handed to you by authorities, and don't allow for really much wiggle room regarding the individual in front of you. And finally, the watchdog on the bottom is the FDA, who makes sure that everything is done to rigorous scientific standards as provided by the pharmaceutical industry. Anyway, that's that story. So my version of medicine puts the patient front and center. I tell the patient on the first day, you're the captain of this ship. I'm part of your crew. I'm here to advise you, but I'm not here to tell you how to run the ship. So on that front, it's really important that I listen to the patient. So I usually take an hour for a new patient, and much of that time is spent listening, asking questions, probing their belief system, their history, both physical, medical, emotional, and so on, and what they believe now about their health, what they think is possible, and forging a relationship that allows us to push them forward at a pace that's comfortable for them, that's acceptable, or maybe a little faster. Anyway, once they start to trust me, we can move much, much faster because they've already proven to themselves that I'm giving them advice that's in their best interest, that's not costly if I can help it, and that's supportive rather than playing that whack-a-mole of treat this symptom, then treat the symptom that's caused by the symptom relief, and so on and so on. I call it the subscription model of medicine. They keep you coming back, but they never quite reach a cure or a real understanding of where this thing began. So that's the other thing. So I spend time, I listen, and I look for root causes. So there aren't that many things that will cause chronic illness in a human being. We might have a gigantic book of diagnostic codes because we treat syndromes and symptoms. We don't look for causes. So the few causes that really underlie chronic illness. So if you have a chronic illness, write these down. If someone you love has a chronic illness, write these down. If anyone you ever knew had a chronic illness, write these down, because looking for treating and reversing these causes will give anyone a longer and healthier life. So here we go. I'll see how many I can remember. So number one is in this country is poor nutrition. What we are being sold, what we are being addicted to, what we are spending our hard-earned money for is not really food. It may have started out as something food-like, but even then it was genetically modified, doused in poison, and then heavily, heavily processed for many reasons. Shelf life is one. The Twinkie that lasts 2 years that never goes moldy, even the mold won't eat it, should not be eaten by anyone. So it's not food, it's a facsimile of food. And much of our food is like that. Much of our food provides toxic amounts of substances that we're meant to get in a whole package, like fructose, which should be eaten in an apple or an orange or a mango or some other fruit, rather than as concentrated fructose syrup in a sugary drink that offers zero nutrition. Anyway, that's number one on the list, is poor nutrition. Number two is inactivity. We think our bodies can be ignored. We learn to ignore them by being forced to sit still for hours at a time at a very young age, which is totally unnatural, especially for little boys, and is probably a huge contributor to the ADD, ADHD spectrum of kids who can't sit still. So we're kids now who can't move. And if we would begin to move and inhabit our bodies and appreciate the signals that the body is constantly sending us, then we won't have to be in pain all the time because our body can't get our attention any other way. So move your body, learn how to enjoy movement. You don't have to sweat, you don't have to kill yourself. You just need to enjoy movement. So dancing, taking a long walk in the afternoon or in the early morning. Get a big dog and walk the dog as much as you can during the day. Anyway, that's the number two problem that we see in this country. Number three has to be toxicity, because we are deliberately poisoning ourselves as we kill our insects, as we kill the birds, as we destroy the soil. Tons, millions, billions of tons of poison are being just systematically spread across the earth, and this is not a good thing. because it's put on our food and our food then poisons us. And we wonder why our young men don't have any testosterone and why our young women can't get pregnant. And the reason is toxicity. So cancer is a result of toxicity. Parkinson's disease, a result of toxicity. And we know which toxins, and we know that most or many of the things that we're ingesting and spreading on our lawn and in our homes and what have you are pure carcinogens. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? We've been sold a bill of goods that the earth needs help. And trust me, the only thing earth needs help from is us. We are the ones that are the cancer on the planet. So let's change our ways. Let's learn how to have a yard that doesn't require poison to grow beautiful flowers and variety of things, not a monocrop like a lawn that has to be massaged and poured money on top of it just to make it look good. Okay, enough, ranting enough. Um, so toxicity. Infectious disease is still up there, but it's not the kind that kills you right away unless it's a pandemic or a, an epidemic like COVID. Um, don't get me started. That's something else. But we could have treated that very, very differently and had a very, very different outcome. But that wasn't the plan, so I'll leave it alone. A lot of people have chronic infection in their body. So let me just explain what I mean. So most of us have at some point in our lives had exposure to Epstein-Barr virus, known as mononucleosis, known as the kissing disease. So if you had that as a kid, you probably still have virus in your body. How much it bothers you is a big question mark, because I've tested a lot of people for latent viruses. All of them have Epstein-Barr, but not all of them have symptoms. So there are many other factors at work here. But if you have foreign objects in your body, and I suspect it also happens with metallic joint implants, but it certainly happens with breast implants, silicone implants of all kinds, and mesh that they are using for hernia repair. They tried to stop using it, but I see it's back. So all of these things can be a substrate, a place for organisms to set up shop where the immune system has a much harder time getting to them. So this type of chronic infection, mold especially, is common because, especially in Florida, where I am, water damage, and in many other parts of the country, flood damage will set up a mold situation even years from now. So we have to be very careful. We need to find new ways of building, new new products. I've seen some very exciting new building materials made from bamboo that are extremely lightweight and strong. And I don't know, they need to be made mold proof too. So anyway, why do I know about that? I know a lot about mold because when I was an ENT, about maybe once a year, I did it for 10 years. So I didn't see that many, but I would open up somebody's sinus that was chronically inflamed and chronically infected, and I would find a black hairball of Aspergillus nigrans. Aspergillus is an airborne mold. Of course, they all are when they're spores. And when it gets into your head, it loves it there because it's warm and wet. So this is a big problem for some people. but it can also wind up in your gut and can be producing mold toxins day and night. So this can definitely be a chronic infection that can cause chronic fatigue, multiple joint pains, brain fog, um, skin eruptions, all sorts of things that you would never put together unless you were looking at the whole patient. So a dermatologist would see it one way, an ENT would see it another way. Who is looking at the whole patient? So you need to find someone that can do that for you. Keep listening to these little videos that I'm going to put out from time to time. I'm excited to help you, and I'm excited to hear from you. So those are the main reasons that people get sick. There are genetic reasons too, but the genes are there from birth. And the question is, how come they suddenly attack you at 40 or 50 or 80 or whatever it is? And the answer is epigenetics. Epigenetics are the triggers in your environment that activate parts of your DNA that either keep you young or make you age faster. Your genetics are unchanging, but your epigenetics are what you have total control over. So clean up your environment, drink clean filtered water with electrolytes. Please upgrade your diet however you need to do that. If you can't stop eating garbage, then add some good food. With good food, I mean whole foods that grandma would recognize and know how to cook. And if you can't cook, then just, I don't know, learn how or find someone who's willing to cook for you and pay them. So that's my advice for today. Much more to follow. It's been fun. And please send your comments to Grokking Wholeness. Subscribe and tell all your friends and neighbors. We're going to be doing this again. With lots of love and respect, this is Carol Roberts. Bye now.